Yeah, hey guys, what's up? TheKingofKpop here. I wanted to talk about, you guys remember the show Winner? The show Win will determine pitted two teams against each other, Team A and B. The winner of that survival program will not only be called the winner, but would be YG's next boy band to debut. Well, it's been about funny to think it's almost been a year since that show aired last year. I think it aired back in August. It was amazing. However, it was reported that from some reporter that Team B, the losing team that lost the show, are quite possibly in the works for their own TV reality program, as well as they could end up debuting pretty soon as well. For me, this is pretty. As a fan of Team B, this is a pretty exciting news for me, because Team B was the group I wanted to win the show. Unfortunately, they didn't win. I'm still glad for Winner, that they won, because I think YG needed a new boy band bad. So I'm fine with them. But it really puts a lot of things into perspective of everything that I've said since day one when I did reviews of all of the episodes. That Team B is that's Young Hak Suk, Papa YG's favorite. He loves those boys. He loves that group. Because I remember, you could really tell he loved those guys, because, since day one in the show, you can tell he favored them more. I even mentioned in my last review of the final episode, when Team A won, the look on Young Hak Suk's face was like, he's happy, but he was thinking of something, and he's trying to think another way as to how could he keep Team B. Because before the finals of the program, he had clearly said, he's like, the losing team would be will be terminated. He was like, they'll be terminated completely. But then when Team A ended up winning, Young Hak Suk, I think that same day or the day after the final show, he goes back and says, I've decided to keep Team B intact, and they're going to go through they're going to go through more training. They may do some more, they may go through some member changes, but I'm going to keep them, and they're going to go through some more training. That's it. So, Young Hak Suk kind of, turned the other cheek there, and end up, going back on what he originally planned since the show began. But it seemed like since his favorite group that he liked of the two didn't win, then he just tried to come up with some excuse to save them and keep them. But I just think it's very interesting, because we're hearing this from Team B. Team B will also be a part of the YG Entertainment Family Concert up in August. They will be a part of that, so that's really cool. I think it's nice of them to even do that, because they're not even debuting, and to have the trainees be a part of that concert, I think it's cool. Definitely adds some new flavor and something more for me to look forward to when that concert hits. Also, B.I. and Bobby are going to be a part of Show Me the Money 3 TV show. It's for hip hop, K-pop rappers. So they're going to be on that. So they're getting some exposure there. So it's very interesting to see, hear these little sprinkles of news of Team B kind of sprouting up here and there, them being on TV, them getting their own TV reality, and quite possibly could end up debuting soon. But yet we haven't heard anything from the people that won the competition, Winner. It's a little bit disturbing, because, we haven't heard anything from Winner. The last thing we heard from Winner was back in, I believe, March or April it was, where Young Hak Suk personally himself said that they were in the process of filming the video, or that the video was already done being filmed. And since then, we haven't heard anything else about people that won the competition, Winner. I think it's kind of bad, because what it does is it separates the group. It forms separatism from the groups. And when Young Hak Suk forms separatism amongst the groups, clearly, which I think he does to a degree and has, then from the fans' perspective that like both of these guys, these groups, they're going to be separate, because then what you're going to do is you're going to take the fan base of Winner, and they're going to be like, well, okay, all you care about is Team B. You don't care about them. So instead of them also being fans of Team B, they'll hover over Winner much more, because they feel like Winner is the, you know, the little adopted child that nobody wants, kind of like thing, or the child that gets the lack of love of a father, kind of like thing. And then you'll have the people who like Team B, like myself, I like Team B. They'll be separated, and they'll just like Team B, because they'll be like, well, these are the people that should have won in the first place. I like Team B. I've said since day one, I like Team B over Team A. However, Team A does have the much better vocals, and I think the members are much more relatable. You can relate to them more as from one person to another than you can Team B. So I still do like Team A. I like Team Winner. I just like Team B just a little bit more. I like both groups. You know, I feel no separatism towards them at all. I like Team B just a little bit more, because they're a little bit more of a dancing hip hop. They have that old school YG flavor that YG used to have back in the day. That's why I really like them a lot. And I think that's why YG likes them a lot as well. However, so because of that, you're gonna split the fan base, and it's like, you know, it's almost kind of like, you know, the perfect perspective I could put it in. It seems like Young Sook will be treating Winner and Team B like FX versus a bunch of other SM artists. Where in SM Entertainment, FX is like, you know, the child that is kept at arm's length from SM Entertainment, whereas SM Entertainment focuses on Shiny and XO and Shiny and Sonichi Day and their newest you know, baby of the family, XO. They're focused so much on, you know, these groups here and TVXQ here and there and Suju, that FX is kind of like outside of the circle. And you do have FX fans that because of that, they see that separatism. They only care about FX, and they don't care about Sonichi Day. They don't care about any other SM artists on the roster except FX. And I feel like what Young Sook is kind of doing, with the lack of news that Winner is getting, since these guys, they won the competition fair and square. They been delayed. Their debut's been delayed like multiple times, but yet you're still hearing these sprouts of Team B being on reality shows, getting their own reality TV program, and quite possibly by the end of them getting their own TV reality program could end up leading up to a debut. If they debut before Winner, my God, that'd be god awful from a fan's perspective. So it's like Young Sook is making separatism. So by him doing that, I feel like fans are going to kind of just, the ones that love Winner, they're going to be like, okay, if this is how you want to play Young Sook, fine. We love Winner. We don't care about Team B. We don't care about any other group. We may care about Big Bang, because I don't see anyone would dislike Big Bang. But they're like, we love Winner, and that's it. So I'm kind of concerned about some of that stuff coming back on Young Sook in the year to come. So anyway, it's still exciting news nonetheless, and I do hope Winner debuts soon. I think they would do better by having a summer debut rather than to have them debut in the fall, which it looks like it may happen. However, whatever happens. I'm glad the Team B are going to be still intact. I hope they improved vocally. I hope they improved musically, because I'll be honest, in the competition, some of the songs that Team B were making, with the exception of one song, I didn't really care for some of their own songs that they created. I think Winner had the far better and superior songs. So I think hopefully, since the competition, they've upped their game with their music and everything else. And I look forward to seeing them debut sooner or later. Comment, subscribe, peace.